I love setting up aquariums, but sometimes after a while tanks just don't work out. And one of such tanks is the Ropefish tank I made nearly a year ago. I absolutely love it, the Ropefish are doing fine, but there's some problems with this tank I can't ignore any longer. So in this video we're going to rescape the Ropefish jungle, but before we get to that, there's some other stuff in the animal room we need to address first. Okay, so I'm working on this really big tank for quite some time now, and I'm gonna use a technique that's new to me to make the background in this tank. And to make the background, I'm going to use Buddy Road's vertical concrete. It's a lightweight alternative to using concrete that once cured is completely safe to animals. In fact, it's used to create actual zoo displays. That does sound very promising, but I want to make sure I can get a decent technique down before using it in a large setup. That's why I'm making these little pieces. Before I'll be able to carve these, I need to let them stiffen up for a bit. This could be as little as 15 minutes, but since I made the mixture way too wet, it's probably gonna be more than an hour. I'm not really sure yet what tools best to use for this technique, so as you can see I'm using a bunch of different things. The beauty of this technique is that there's barely any waste. Anything you carve off can easily be reused as long as it's still wet. Once I'm done carving, I need to let these pieces dry for a day or two. So in the meantime, let's address the Ropefish tank. Alright, back to the Ropefish tank. This tank is doing fairly well. My main issue with this tank has to do with the plants. Now they're doing fine, that's not the issue at all, but I don't think they do the hardscape justice and make the entire tank look messy. So I've decided to remove nearly all of the plants, keeping only a select few. A couple of Anubias, Crypts and Bulbitis are the only ones allowed to stay, the rest has to go. But I'm not gonna leave the tank empty, I'm actually replacing all of the background plants with a lot of Thalassoneria. This is starting to change up the vibe of this tank a lot, but I'm really loving it and I can't wait to see what it looks like if the Thalassoneria starts to grow in a lot more, become a lot more dense. I think this is the right one, but we got a lot more Thalassoneria to go, so let's continue planting. But that's not everything. One of the species I keep in this tank are Coedoras, and I've noticed their barbels turning white from scraping over the gravel, so I'm going to add a layer of black sand to hopefully stop this from happening. And with the background done, it's now time to address the foreground. Here I decided to completely remove the substrate and all of the plants and replace it with a light colored sand. Feeling really good about the Ropefish tank. It looks very promising, but we're gonna have to wait until it clears up a little bit. So in the meantime, I thought we'll address another problem that I'm facing, and that has to do with the Firebelly toad tank. Yeah, it's not a big issue at all. For the most part, this tank looks and works fantastic. I have very little complaints about this tank. There was a little bit of acclimation die-off, but other than that, it's working fine. Except for this little corner over there underneath the waterfall. The sphagnum moss over there is starting to compact down, and I don't like the way this corner over here looks. So what I thought is I'll just go to the store, get a couple more rocks and just maybe keep the plants in there, but maybe take some out, maybe switch them up. I got some more plants up there. Yeah, let's just play around with some materials. Let's see what we can make. Okay, it's now a week later and our concrete pieces have completely dried. Well, it didn't take a week for them to dry, it took about a day or something. But here they are, and I think they look pretty good. And I think this technique is very promising. Because you can do a lot of stuff with this, and I've already seen techniques on how you can make trees with this stuff. So I'm very excited to test this out a lot more and make like full-on backgrounds. Because this stuff is solid and it looks really good. Yeah, only the color is a bit flat. If I can get a little bit more depth into there, I think that will make it look even better. But either way, I'm really happy with these results. It's gonna be a game changer in the hobby. Now this video has been all over the place. I know, I've been really busy working on some really cool projects, including the big tank behind me. It's far from finished, it needs a lot more work. But I'm gonna go full focus on this tank after this video goes live, so that this will be the next video. So please be patient, there's a really cool big video coming. But for now, I guess it's time to see how the Ropefish tank turned out.